Hello and welcome to a special video edition of the Purchasing and Supply Management podcast series. I'm your host, Terry Sprague for Next Level Purchasing. Today I'll be speaking with Charles Dominic, President of Next Level Purchasing, about the topic of spend analysis. Welcome to the show, Charles.
Thanks, Terry. It's great to be here.
Charles, what is spend analysis?
Well, Terry, if I had to simplify it, I'd say that spend analysis is the systematic review of data related to historical purchases. And the output of spend analysis is a summary of that data by various variables, such as by supplier, by category, and/or by business unit.
Why would a purchasing department want to conduct spend analysis?
Well, Terry, the primary reason for conducting a spend analysis is simply to identify opportunities for cost savings.
What do you look for that suggests that there are opportunities for cost savings?
Well, Terry, in reviewing the output of a spend analysis, one can usually find at least 4 indicators that there are opportunities for cost savings. Those include 1. A large purchase price variance for a certain item or a certain category where there's a lot of spend. 2 is an unusually large number of suppliers given the money spent in a certain category. 3 is rising prices over time. And 4 is that there's a large amount of spend in a category for which no enterprise-wide contract exists.
Can you elaborate a little bit on each of those?
Sure, I'd be happy to. First, let's talk about purchase price variance. Now, purchase price variance is one of those terms that's defined very loosely in the field. But for the purposes of this discussion, we'll define purchase price variance as the difference between a standard cost and your average price paid. So if there's a large purchase price variance, or in other words, a large difference between those two numbers, that means either one of two things. Either your standard cost is totally out of whack and not valid, or you are simply paying too much for a certain product or service. Now in the latter case, you should take some type of action such as negotiating or sourcing to bring prices down to a more reasonable level. Second, let's talk about an unusually large number of suppliers in a certain category. Now it's very basic purchasing to understand that the more money that you spend with a single supplier means you should be getting a larger discount from that supplier. And when you spend a lot of money with a large number of suppliers, you're not effectively leveraging your spend and therefore not really being eligible for the type of discounts that your company deserves. So seeing a large number of suppliers in a category when you do a spend analysis is a tip-off that supplier consolidation can deliver savings to your organization in terms of reduced prices as well as some of the more advanced benefits of having an optimized supply base. Third, let's talk about rising prices over time. This again is very, very basic. When you see your prices increasing year after year after year, that's a pretty good indication that you probably should be paying more attention to those particular categories. When no one is minding the store, so to speak, price creep is likely to set in, and those price increases are going to erode your company's profits over time. Finally, let's talk about there being a large amount of spend in categories where there is no enterprise-wide contract in place. Now, today's educated purchasing professionals know how to apply modern best practices to get the best deals and to minimize costs for their organization. But when purchase decisions are made by non-purchasing professionals, people who aren't educated in current best practices or simply not part of the purchasing department, it's likely that the prices that are being paid are higher than really what should be paid. So when a spend analysis reveals these types of areas, purchasing can concentrate on those areas, get contracts in place for those areas so that, again, costs are minimized.
Thank you, Charles.
Thank you, Terry.
That wraps it up for this special video edition of the Purchasing and Supply Management podcast series. If you like this resource, be sure to visit www.nextlevelpurchasing.com for more resources, online classes, and certification opportunities. If you watched this video on YouTube, please be sure to share the link with your colleagues. I'm Terry Sprague for Next Level Purchasing, wishing you the best of luck in your purchasing and supply management career. Good day.